Hello Cancer, welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. This week Cancer, we are doing the fairy readings and you're going to get a fairy card. So basically a fairy is going to speak to you in the reading. We're going to use the tarot deck. The fairy is going to talk to you about what it might be good to release, what it might be good to consider embracing, as well as any hidden factors that are unknown to you that could be affecting you right now. And also what energy is coming towards you. And there is an extended at the end of this. The link is at the top of the description if you are drawn to it. And in the extended, we are going to look at the archetypal energy of your inner child. And then through the extended is your inner child speaking to you about your journey. So let's get started. I'm very slurry right now. I still have my orthodontic device in my mouth. Some days are better than others. Alright. So let's see. A fairy for my dear Cancerians. My portals of love. A fairy card for Cancer. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. This is the little guy that was on the bottom, I think, when I picked up the deck to show it to you. Honesty. He's so sweet. He really is. I just feel like, I don't know, I can't even describe the little look in his face. It's a really beautiful, beautiful energy. So let's see. We have this sweet little, and it's all green. It's all green, green, green. Honesty. Honesty, compassion, tact, self-deceit. Just look at him. Could you doubt for a moment that he sees you just as you are and loves you anyway? In plant form, which is how we may see him most often. Honesty makes love purple flowers in the spring and later on produces those silvery white circular seed pods, like small images of the full moon. These little earth moon seed pods remind us to reflect upon our reactions and feelings, to throw light into our darkness, and to deal honestly with ourselves and others. In a reading, honesty in a reading speaks, unsurprisingly, of the need for straight dealing and truth in representation. We need to be scrupulously honest here, making certain that there is no room for confusion or misunderstanding, no fuzzy edges. Both written and verbal agreements need to be completely clear. Assumptions may not be as well understood by all parties as we are assuming, and they need to be tested for comprehension. On a personal level, honesty reminds us not only to be clear in what we say and do, but also to act and speak with compassion and tact. Brutal honesty is not usually true honesty at all, but somehow slanted toward the worst. Dishonesty, even in the name of tact, is not helpful either. Balancing on that fine line of loving honesty may take some effort, but will provide rich rewards. Honest humility, idealism, and clarity of mind are some of the advantages of honesty. That's a very interesting card at the beginning. Now, one of the things that really jumped out at me, though, was when it talked about both written and verbal agreements to be completely clear. It really jumped out at me. And I don't know if you're in the process of going through some sort of written, even like I'm just getting contract, like some sort of a contract to make sure that it does state what you want it to state. That it is very clear. To make sure that is very clear. So now that we have this card, this honesty card, we're going to go into the tarot. I'm going into the good tarot to see what this little fellow would really, really like to talk to you about. Like what to release, what to embrace. There's some hidden stuff going on that you may not be aware of. And what is the energy approaching you? There, that's funny. I think that is the third time this week that that card has shown up in that spot. Oh, what are you being asked to release? The Ten of Air. Wow. I feel like there could be some sort of ending here. Some sort of ending. Maybe you're still hanging on to the energy of this ending. I'm getting like this guy is really looking at me with this Ten of Air. Really hanging on to some sort of, or you have been, to some sort of a painful ending. It's an ending perhaps in where you thought you were going, where you thought you would be. There's a lot bound up with this ending. You know, I feel like not wanting the dust to settle. Like these feathers look like they want to kind of like fall down and settle. Like something has been destroyed, something has ended here. And what's left are like just, you know, if you can imagine like this bird was attacked by a cat and the feathers go flying. And like somehow this bird meant a lot to this person. And the bird could represent, it could represent a person, it could represent a relationship, it could represent a cycle in your life, something major here that you had a connection and attachment to that is ended, but she's refusing to allow that last feather, the last few feathers to hit the ground, because once they do, then it feels like, wow, it really is over. It's really gone. The bird is really gone. Like this is it. It's finished. I'm kind of feeling like let it be finished. Release it. Stop trying to blow. Stop trying to keep these feathers up because that's exhausting. It's dizzying. You can't catch your breath. You can't do anything else except still, in a sense, hang on to the energetic absence of this ending, because that's what it is. It's almost like it just keeps telling you this absence exists, which keeps you in a point of like a low vibration. So what are you being asked to embrace? Like I said, I'm sure this is at least the third time this card has come out in this spot. It's the Seven of Earth, the Seven of Pentacles. Embrace a plan. Embrace a plan. Look towards the future. I'm here. Look towards the future. Look towards the future. It's almost like this person is still looking there, but it's time to look towards the future. A plan. This, yeah, it was Gemini I did just before then. I had like a whole lunch break and everything, so I'm trying to remember what I did before you. Was Gemini, and they had this card in the same place, and it was really interesting. We'll see what your clarifiers say. But kind of like have a plan. Make a plan. Come up with a strategy here towards whatever it is that you want to work towards. And with this little pixie, don't be so stuck on your plan that you can't be spontaneous when you need to be spontaneous. Or if, you're working on your plan, it's taking you in a certain direction, and if things are going good, and all of a sudden you get to a spot and maybe there's a choice to be made. Do you do this today or do you not do that today? Do you take on this responsibility or do you not take on that responsibility? Like whatever it is. So, and then say, okay, well my plan took me up to this point and now I have a choice to make. So you make your choice and that continues to take you on your path, but maybe now it's aligned you a little bit this way. Because part of making the choices is aligning you towards whatever it is you want. It's how you make those choices, whether that's an alignment that suits you well or not. So let the end be the end and embrace the new possibilities. I really want to embrace the new possibilities. Hidden factors that you are unaware of is the Three of Air. A broken heart. Like a broken heart. The conflict between the mind and the heart here. It could be you, like still with this Ten of Air here. Maybe by not allowing the full release of some sort of ending here, it leaves you stuck in the Three of Air. You may not even be aware of that. It leaves you stuck in the Three of Air by not allowing this to end. Now the energy that is approaching you is a transformation. So that's a nice change. That's a big shift. It's like death and rebirth. The ending, right? You can't have the rebirth. There you go. You can't have this rebirth. You can't transform your broken heart if you continue to try to keep blowing the feathers up in the air. If you refuse to allow them to settle. Okay, this is interesting because this person, to me, the feathers have settled, the dust has settled. They're kind of, you know, like self-soothing. They're going through the process of pain and healing into transformation. You really need to let something go here. Something that's ended, because it's preventing you from moving into the transformation. So it is a case of being honest with yourself. Let's clarify. All right, let's clarify each one of these. Okay, yeah, I see. Oh, wow, this is really clear. All right. The Ten of Air, right? Let's release it. Where you being at? What is honesty asking you to release? Honesty. Release that ending. Like, let it go. Let it go. And we've got the Knight of Swords, the Page of Cups, the Tower, and the Knight of Wands. You know what I feel like? I feel like it's someone who keeps trying to breathe life into something that isn't there to breathe life into. I kind of feel that a bit. Like trying to breathe life into something that doesn't have anything to breathe life into anymore. And there's points where wanting to really charge into it, really wanting to move forward very quickly, almost recklessly, and then holding back just a little bit and just coming in with the Page of Cups, which is just, you know, putting on a happy face, putting on a smiley face, trying to be positive. But then this Tower comes in, almost like, it's like the Tower comes in, it's like a self-realization. Oh, this is ended, or this isn't working. But then you come in with the now it's the Knight of Wands, where it's trying to be like really passionate, really, I'm going to get what I want to get. I'm feeling fiery and spicy today. I'm like, I've got it going on. It's not quite as reckless as the Knight of Swords. But it's still, and it feels like to me like just trying to breathe life into something where there's no life left to breathe into it. It's like the Tower wants to keep coming down, but you keep trying to push it back up. And then the Tower wants to come down and you keep trying to push it back. The feathers, again, it's like the feathers want to come down, but you keep trying to push them back up. So what you're being asked to embrace is the possibilities of the future, making some plans, a strategy for yourself. Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Four of Cups. I feel like the only thing that holds you back from success, stability, abundance, is not being open to different possibilities here, is not being open to different possibilities. So if you are open to different possibilities, but you can only really be open to different possibilities if you've allowed, if you would at least recognize that something has ended and it's taken its course, and you shouldn't hang on to it for the sake of hanging on to it, is what I'm hearing. If it's something that, see, I almost don't want to say that because I really feel like the universe is asking to release it. If it's something that would come back to you, I feel like it would only come back to you after a great period of time has gone by. And you and whatever this energy of this ending is have completely transformed to something different. Each of you. But that will only happen if you really put it to rest. Like if you really put it to bed. And let it be. So now, the hidden factors that you're unaware of. We have this Three of Arrows, the Three of Swords. The Six of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. Wow, this energy reminds me a little bit of the energy that's clarifying the release. A bit of a back and forth, like the Six of Pentacles feeling, okay, this is what you're not aware of. Like, I feel like there's a broken heart here that's not being fully addressed, and trying to find things where there's balance, there's equal give and take, and not really finding it, and kind of finding yourself back into a beginning point where maybe there's good things out there, or maybe there's a possibility, or maybe there's that, and then feeling kind of like, no, there's nothing out in the cold. And it's kind of like, because the energy of this ending is still dragging on you. It's like it still clings to you. Like moving forward is just, because it's something that needs to be looked at here. And I'm feeling like both of these cards, they're finally kind of like looking and moving. They're moving this way. They're at least moving. Their energy is directed there. What's approaching you, which is a transformation. And wait till you see it. It's interesting, the cards that have repeated here. So there we go. The energy of what's coming towards you is transformation. It's like the death card. Death and transformation. Death and rebirth. We have the Five of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Death card. This inner conflict, inner turmoil that sits within you, it's got to be faced, it's got to be looked at, and the discontent between your mind and your heart. Whereas your mind is trying to tell you that perhaps if this is over, whatever this is, your mind is trying to tell you that however this is for you, if it was a job, like, it doesn't have to be like a person or a relationship. It feels very strongly like it could be, but it's something major that has come to an end. And I feel like your mind is probably trying to tell you that, yeah, it has, and you need to look at other options and think about things, but your heart is still invested in it. So the two of them are in conflict, and that's what's causing the pain. So you need to bring an end to this energy by looking at it, by accepting it. Even if something, yeah, and you can't, that's why I'm hesitant to say, like, even whatever this is, you know, if it's meant to come back to you, if you're meant to have it, it will only happen once you've gone through this process. However, you can't really go through this process of releasing it until you've lost all expectations of this ever coming back. That's the catch-22. So if this comes back to you, you may not even want it, like at the point that you will be when it could come back to you. That's kind of how that goes. So it is a big release. The Honesty card. I'm going to pull out one tarot card from another deck just to get a specific message to you right from this honesty about it. Actually, no. Before I do that, I do want to ask, what comes in after the Death card for you? That's interesting. It fell out and I put it back in. It was the Empress, so it is like good. There's a possibility it's really good. It's gonna be better than the Three of Swords. I can tell you that. Just to give you an idea where, like this Death and Rebirth comes in after the Death card. That makes a lot of sense if it is what I think it is. Yep, it is what I think it is. It is being a little bit defensive, very protective of yourself because you're healing. If you've healed your heart, if your heart is now gone through a period of healing, it's kind of like, well, now the bandages can come off. The wound needs the fresh air to heal a little bit better, right, than being covered up by a bandage. But now there are scars. And now how deep those go dependent on how deep the pain was. What sort of a major ending this was to you. How significant in your life it was. So the Seven of... Here it is. The Seven of Wands, I feel like, is being aware that there's a sensitive spot here. There's a bruise, however you want to clarify it, and you're trying to stop it from getting hurt. But that's moving you forward. Here's the Seven of Wands. After the Seven of Wands. Then you have the Two of Pentacles. This is learning about what you want in your life, what you want to work on and balance in your life, where you want to give your energy, where you would like to put your energy moving forward. What aspects of your life you need to balance. Because yeah, this is not kind of like a double death card here. This is not an easy transformation. Yeah, you have the Three of Swords twice. You have the Death card twice. And you have like the Ten of Swords. It's a very painful. Honesty. Honesty. If you could give one specific message. Honesty. One specific message to Cancer. One specific message to Cancer. Alright. The Ten of Pentacles. I think there's really, really, really good things for you in the future. But first, that energy cannot be met until the Ten of Wands is now on the bottom. There's a burden that needs to be released here. There's a big purge that needs to happen for whoever this is resonating for. The Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Three of Swords twice, the Death card twice. It is me, but it can be hard too. Like, we've all been there when we've suffered some sort of a great loss. It's hard to imagine that there could be days that can be as bright and as stable and as happy and as abundant. And sharing it too with someone, that energy can exist for you down the road, but it's there. Be honest with yourself. You know what you have and you know what you have to offer. So you know the universe is going to align you up with something, but first you have to release the energy from the past. And that is that. That is that, Cancer. That is the end of that. I mean, there's nothing else for me to pull in. It actually came in really clear, and it's funny because as I was coming up the stairs to come to the room after lunch, I thought, oh, I wonder how Cancer's going to go. The last little while I found your readings difficult to get the answers. And interesting, and now that I'm looking at this, like it pulled in quite easily. And with the Honesty card, maybe there was something that almost like you didn't want to look at. So it was hard for me even to pull it out. And now is the time. Now is the time to look at it. And that's it. I'm going to go do the extended. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.